Hello YouTube, this is Dr. Ronald W. Satz, founder and chair of the International Society of Unified Science and president of Transpower Corporation, a commercial and custom software manufacturing and certified systems engineering company. Today, as with most of my screencasts, we'll be discussing the reciprocal system of physical theory and how it compares to conventional theory. We have two topics. First is on galaxy star formation, and the second topic is on this strange object. Is it a black hole, a pulsar, or is it really a quasar? So let's go to the topic number one, galaxy star formation. And this comes from Science Daily. As usual, we like to quote from Science Daily, which is a good source for the latest research news. And let's just scroll down here, see what this article is about. Galaxy NGC 300, by the way, NGC means New Galactic Catalog. NGC 300 is located about 7 million light years away in the constellation Sculptor. It is a classic spiral galaxy with open arms and vigorous star formation throughout. Blue represents ultraviolet light captured by the telescope's long wavelength detector. Green shows ultraviolet light from the short wavelength detector. And red shows red visible light from the Los Campanas Observatory in Chile. So what was the point of this observation? Well, let's just scroll down here. Let's see. According to conventional theory, which of course is nonsense, moments after the start of the Big Bang, the hot newly born universe began to expand and quickly cool. Several 100,000 years later, free proton and electron particles in the universe began to connect to each other and form neutral hydrogen atoms. The neutral gas began to collapse into the first stars and galaxies, which then began to radiate brightly. Using observations made with the cosmic origin spectrograph on board the Hubble Space Telescope, the research team found the right galaxy to study. In the study, the researchers created a combination of unusually strong winds, intense radiation, and massive, highly star-forming galaxy for proving the validity of the indicator. Well, let's go back. The conventional theorists believe that stars and galaxies form shortly after the, quote, Big Bang. But this, of course, is not according to the reciprocal system. Here, globular clusters form first. Globular clusters are the basic building blocks of the physical universe. Then these globular clusters combine to form small galaxies, and then these combine to form large galaxies. Each star in a galaxy accretes all the dust and gas within its gravitational limit. So in the reciprocal system, there are gravitational limits. So unlike Newton, gravitation is not universal. At some point, the motion becomes outward rather than inward. So new stars cannot form between stars. It's very important to understand. New stars cannot form between stars. So-called starburst galaxies capture dust clouds and globular clusters in small galaxies. Some of these are immature globular clusters where the stars are just in the process of being formed. So it's not really the galaxy itself which is creating these new stars. They're taking it in from the outside. Now, of course, supernovae are equivalent to binary fission. Two stars or one star plus a solar system form out of the original mass. So that's the only other way you can get more than one star within a gravitational limit is by supernovae. So it's important to note, stars grow by accretion and move up the main sequence. They don't stay put or go down. Unlike conventional theory, which says it runs out of mass and so on. No, they move up and get bigger. So actually, the O and B stars are not young, but they're old. Okay, so that's topic number one. Now let's go to topic number two. This is a very interesting object. So let's go to Science Daily. It says here, impossibly bright dead star, X-ray source in the Cigar Galaxy is the first ultraluminous pulsar ever detected. Now the Cigar Galaxy is M82. Let's come down here. And it says, the artist's illustration shows a black hole center of disk with matter from a massive companion star falling into it. Objects like this are thought to make up the ultraluminous X-ray source, or ULX, population, but recently one ULX was found to be a dead star called a Pulsar. not a black hole. So it says here, astronomers working with NASA's Nuclear Spectroscopic Telescope Array, NuSTAR, led by Caltech's Fiona Harrison, have found a pulsating dead star beaming with the energy of about 10 million suns. Yeah, come on. That is not a pulsar. 10 million suns. Come on. Let's give me a break here. I don't know. Is anything else worth in here? Earlier this year, astronomers in London detected a spectacular once-in-a-century supernova dubbed SN 2014J in a relatively nearby galaxy known as MESR 82, or the Cigar Galaxy, 12 million light-years away. Because of the rarity of that event, telescopes around the world and in space adjusted their gaze to study the aftermath of the explosion in detail. So this is M82. It says, besides supernova, M82 harbors a number of other ULXs. And, but come on, 10 million suns from one pulsar? That's absurd. Now let's go back. The Cigar Galaxy is M82, a galaxy which clearly shows explosive activity. Now a source of X-rays with a luminous power of 10 million suns has been found associated with it, and the conventional theorists say they've discovered a pulsar. This is laughable. My opponents in theoretical physics are so nuts. Anyway, no way. Besides, they first thought that they had found a black hole. According to the reciprocal system of theory, what they actually have found is a quasar, apparently at an early stage. It's just in the process of moving away from the galaxy. A quasar is an assemblage of stars blown out from M82. Now, astronomer Houghton Arp was right all along. By the way, Houghton Arp was a great observational astronomer. He disagreed with his fellow astronomers in the theoretical interpretation of his work, but the reciprocal system agrees with Houghton Arp's observations. That is, quasars are associated with active galaxies. They're not at so-called cosmological distances. So I'll say this again. Astronomer Houghton Arp was right all along. Explosive galaxies have quasars and radio galaxies associated with them at some distance from the center. And obviously M82 should certainly have a quasar associated with it. Quasars do have variable luminosity. In effect, they act as very large pulsars. So if I go to my reciprocal system database module, the macrocosmos module, which has all the astronomical properties from the reciprocal system, here's the record for M82, the Cigar Galaxy. And I just want to quickly read the note here. Galaxies that show evidence of violent activity, such as M82 and NGC 5128, also radiate enormous amounts of X-ray energy. That's directly from the Larson's Universe of Motion pages 374 and 375. The galaxy M82, the first in which definite evidence of an explosion was recognized, seems to be in this stage. Photographs of the galaxy taken with the 200-inch Palomar telescope show immense clouds of material moving outward, and the galactic structure appears badly distorted. Just how large M82 may have been in its prime before it began ejecting mass cannot be determined from observation, but presumably it was in the giant class. It was undoubtedly a giant spheroidal galaxy. At present, it's in the range of spirals, so obviously it's lost a lot of mass because it's ejected a lot of quasars. Sooner or later, the remnants of all such overage galaxies will be gathered into their younger and larger neighbors. The eventual fate of M82 is clearly foreshadowed by a comment, an article by Dr. Sandage, that the evidence of explosive events of this galaxy was discovered in a survey of a group of visible galaxies centered in the giant spiral galaxy M81. So, and you can, if you have this database module, you can read more about it. So, Larson, well, I'll read this. I'll keep going here. M82 exhibits some of the characteristic features of an exploding object. Recognition of these features naturally led first to the conclusion an explosion was in process in the interior of the galaxy. But as more information has been accumulated, difficulties have been experienced in reconciling this information with current theories as to the nature of such an explosion. As Harwood reports, the situation is not understood. So anyway, but the reciprocal system explains it perfectly. So let's just go back. So it's definitely a quasar. All right, so we're done for today. Study the reciprocal system and prove it for yourself. The simplest possible treatment of the theory is my work, The Unmysterious Universe. Just the concepts, very little mathematics. You can get it from Amazon.com or TranspowerCorp.com. Now, if you do want all the mathematics, thousands and thousands of equations covering both the microcosmos and macrocosmos, I have Existence and Interactions, a computational treatise of the reciprocal system, the true theory of everything. 711 pages for the PDF, 711 slides for the PPT file. And then, after that, I have the two database modules that I just discussed. I have the Microcosmos database module, which covers photons, subatoms, atoms, compounds, and alloys. And then I have the Astronomical or Macrocosmos database module, which covers all the aspects of the astronomical universe. You know, galaxy clusters, galaxies, star clusters, stars, planets, moons, minor bodies, nebulae, and voids. And even contains a record for the universe as a whole with calculations of the mass and so on. And it even also covers calculation of the number of possible alien hominids out there. Okay, so again, study the reciprocal system and prove it for yourself. Thanks for your attention.